Hello, viewers, and welcome back to another Friday, and we all know what that means. It's a My Hero Academia chapter read through. And it's been 2 weeks since we got a new chapter, but now we're back, and we're back to do chapter 244. And last time, 2 weeks ago, that we had Bakugo, Todoroki, and Midoriya decided to intern with Endeavor, and people are still bringing up more hateful comments, I see. Even some people are still a little childish about that Endeavor is ruining the storyline. Oh, well, I know, yeah. I know, I understand why, and I'm okay with that. So, let's forget about that for now. So we're catching up, chapter 244, and we're going to continue roughly where we left off. So, where would the story go with Midoriya, Bakugo, and Todoroki with their intern with Endeavor, and Hawks is still in the area, and he's got himself into a still bit of hot water. But anyway, let's read the chapter and find out what happens. Before we get started, make sure you hit that subscribe button. It only takes two simple clicks. Click, click. Enjoy the episode. So, right off the bat on page 1, we left we so we continue where we left off in chapter 243, and today's chapter is for for today's chapter, that which is chapter 244, the main title of the chapter is called Recommendation. Okay, so we cut off where we last let off 2 weeks ago prior, and we have Midoriya, Todoroki, and Bakugo just putting on their hero costumes and off to help Endeavor deal with this Nostradamus fellow, as the internet is starting to bring it up. The new villain came into town, and the fans of the show just call him Nostradamus at this point, and he's probably just a joke, not taken as a threat. So we leave off with Midoriya starting. To do that, we're going to. Oh, no, I think I'm reading it slightly wrong. It's Todoroki who says, "Watch him from behind, huh?" And Midoriya just continues, To do that, we're going to have to keep up with him first. Catch up to the number one hero. Chapter 244, Recommendation. And we see on the next panel, we see Endeavor rocketing in flames and going super fast. And Midoriya sees this incredible burst of speed, and we get into Midoriya's dialogue, from what I can tell. He started running even before the sound from the attack reached us. What incredible speed. Page 2. Bakugo is still slightly jealous, a little angry seeing Endeavor running off so fast, and Todoroki continues with his inner thoughts, his flash fire. And the next panel we see Endeavor just jumping and boosting around. And also shine sparking on the end of the second page when we jump to Endeavor, just jumping over the entire walk, going across the street with roughly a shine spark. And on the next page, first panel, we see more of the bustling city, like as seem everything is going fine. And we go to the next panel, and we jump into what Nostradamus is doing, and he's doing his shtick while we see the camera in a corporate office, and Nostradamus starts. The stars of evil are conspiring. We must forestall them at all costs. And random people are just saying, this random woman saying, Isn't that guy the servant of the stars from District 2? And a random person just continues, It's too early in the morning for this. And then suddenly on the next page, all the glasses seems to go towards Nostradamus as he continues his gospel again. This earth shall be consumed by darkness. And he just takes all the glass, and people are just slightly freaking out. And I don't know who's speaking, but it's probably the random person, second random person who was speaking. And he says, he sucked in all that glass. Is that geezer serious? We don't have time to wait for the heroes. And we get more of Nostradamus' gospel, and he continues while forming his glass ball. With all the glass throughout the entire street, run all ye citizens of this country, for I shall extripe, I'm not sure if I'm saying it right, extirpate, extripe? Could be saying it wrong. The root of this evil darkness. And then moments later, we see what he's done with all the glasses from all over the street to make one huge ball of melted glass. And he spouts, "Let us begin." And he's doing his special, Emperor of Fallen Light. And more of the branded people are freaking out about all of this, and Nostradamus continues, "You cannot hide from me." And on the 5th page, he finally lets the ball drop, like a giant molten glass ball drop, as he continues shouting, "Go forth, servant of Hades." And what he was talking to was Endeavor, just shine sparking towards the melted ball of glass, because it's freaking glass, and because Nostradamus lunged a ball of molten glass, I'm assuming Endeavor just simply goes right through one side of the glass ball, just probably melting it again. Goes inside it. On the next panel, he finally expels all that heat, and he does his flash fire fist, and he just blows up the giant molten glass ball. Blam! And in the gorgeous artwork does it again, with Endeavor just expelling all of his heat out of the glass ball, and probably gonna hurt a lot of random people being covered in molten glass and glass shards, causing scratches and cuts all over the place with that explosion. Okay, we're moving on to page 7 now. And Nostradamus continues. No, it's not Nostradamus, it's Endeavor speaking. And Nostradamus is saying this, and we don't see his reaction to the whole thing as Endeavor keeps talking. Glass manipulation, huh, Gramps? You seem to be quite skilled, but it seems you don't quite understand. That nothing. That's not something you do on my turf. As he do, as he finishes off his last sentence, doing an awesome badass pose in the last panel of page 7, looking goddamn badass, already exploding heat. So on page 8, we cut away back to the branded people in that poor office, and now they have to endure Endeavor's heat, and some of the people are complaining. Endeavor, it's so hot. Hot! Too hot! Run away! And we even see Nostradamus in the next panel, and he's feeling the heat. Oh, my throat is burning! And on the next panel, he just bugs off. And he officially runs away. Yeah, he just buggers off and runs into an alleyway while another hero is just coming to help out Endeavor, but it's mostly unnecessary at this point. And we see like three multiple panels, like the birth panel I just described. In the second panel, Endeavor goes after Nostradamus, and while doing a kind of an interesting way of doing the speech bubbles in this panel, having the speech bubble going into the alleyway, and some bit of fourth breaking with the other speech bubble where that new hero came in to help out Endeavor, and he just only says, Endeavor! Whoosh! And Endeavor just goes into the alleyway. I'll leave the evacuation to you. And we cut onto the last panel of page 8. And we see Endeavor's point of view, looking at Nostradamus as he goes through the alleyway. And okay, we go to page 9. Endeavor just simply going after Nostradamus, rocketing through it like it was nothing. And next panel we see Nostradamus looking back behind Endeavor, and he sees Endeavor behind him. And on the next panel, we continue with Nostradamus, and he says, now, do it. And turns out that his little runaway tactic was actually a trap for Endeavor, while that Nostradamus used himself as bait to lure Endeavor away into a trap where three other random hooligans just bring knives and steel pipes and whatever they could get their hands on. You're gonna need something a little more to actually kill Endeavor. He's made of fire, and you're just using metal. It's just going to melt. All that metal is going to frickin' melt. But the three stooges idiots just say, yes, master. And Endeavor sees this coming. It's like, seriously? You pulling this crap? I'm made of fire, you know. But no need, as in the next page 10 we see Midoriya, Bakugo, and Todoroki finally coming into the scene to help out and deal with the idiot three stooges. And the artwork looks friggin' awesome, with Midoriya about to kick the guy with the metal pipe. Bakugo is about to blast the knife-wielding hillbilly. And I think Todoroki froze the third guy's feet, or maybe the first, the knife-wielding guy and the third one. But Endeavor looks to the left? What? It's like Endeavor looking to the left, and he sees the feathers of Hawks protruding out. So Hawks is going to interfere while everything was going to be under control in a minute. And he says, huh? And on the next page, we see Hawks butting in and just messing everybody's work, having Hawks steal all three of them. But, okay, that's a little bit of terrible artwork here. I mean, in between it's kind of an awesome thing to have the page 10 and page 11 do an awesome art, but I think the art is a little messed up on page 10 by the way of how Hawks came in to this brawl and finished off the fight. I mean, if you see the page on page 11, it looks like that Hawks is going from right to left from the way in page 11 was. Hawks was going left to right. While on page 10, it looks like Endeavor was looking to his right when he should have been looking to his left to see the feathers protruding out. I don't know if Hawks went to the right or the left. I can Hopefully, when this actually gets animated and adapted into the anime, maybe they would Horikoshi could correct the scene, like having Endeavor's head going to the opposite way to see Hawks coming in. I guess that's what it's implying, but that's my own. That's my only complaint in the art. It's like Hawks' direction is. I mean, look at page 11. He's going to his. He comes in from the right to left, and Endeavor was looking to his left. Endeavor should have been looking to his right to see Hawks. But that's here and now. You know what? I know I'm maybe going on a bit of a tangent in sequential art. So Hawks comes in and deals with all three criminals, and he says, "Oh, the interns," as he's kind of surprised of seeing all three in. And Hawks continues in the next panel. "Sorry, it looks like I was a bit faster than y'all. Than Sorry, it looks like I was a bit faster than y'all." Oh god, even I can't say it right. And Midoriya sees Hawks and he's shocked by this and he just says, "Hawks?" I mean, there. And on page 12, he tosses the criminals to the side, and we do see Todoroki in the far back. He was in his right, at the left. I mean, my left. And Hawks continues while everybody's just getting out of the way. "I thought Indira might have been in a pinch, so," as he thud from the criminals. And on the next panel, we see, I think Endeavor. Oh, we see Endeavor holding on to Nostradamus as he replies, "Did it look like I was in a pinch?" And we get and we get Todoroki looking at Hawks in the next panel, and Hawks starts a conversation. "It sure did, didn't it, Shoto?" And Todoroki's response to that, sure? I think that was supposed to be funny. So, page 13, we go to Endeavor, and he starts speaking and has a conversation with Hawks. "If you're planning to assist, contact me first." And Hawks' response to that comment, as we see him just flapping his wings, we see his face through his wings. And he replies to that question, "Nah, I really just dropped in on a whim." As we see the last panel of page 13 kind of goes to the sky for some weird reason. I don't know. So we cut back to page. Oh, that's pointing to the sky, and it's just telling us that time went by. So a few moments later, we come to page 14, and we see Nostradamus and his three stooges are about to be taken away, and there's a bit of a conversation with some of the thugs. "I was ordered by the servant of the stars." And Nostradamus continues, "Let me go. If you don't, you'll be too late. I'll be too late for you." And we see like one of the random heroes who came by, and he says, "We'll take it from here." And Endeavor replies, "Thanks." As we cut away to Nostradamus, and he starts doing more of his gospel. And he continues, "He is the root of darkness." And we still get more of his spiel while after going from Nostradamus, we go to Endeavor, implying that Endeavor is the root of darkness, supposedly in Nostradamus's philosophy. And Nostradamus still continues, "The light he resonates. It invites darkness. It beckons destruction." And after that, we see one of the officers, and he starts speaking. Looks like there were no looks like there were zero casualties again. This city is safe whenever your light shines. And as that conversation goes on, we cut away to Midoriya, Todoroki, and Hawks, and Hawks is Midoriya's introducing himself to Hawks. My name is Midoriya. And Hawk's response is, "Ah, the Finger Destroyer kid." And he knows about the sports festival fiasco. So we continue the conversation on the next page, in page 15. And Hawk says, "I heard about you from Teku's Tekuyami. Teku Tokuyami. Man, I really wanted to work with him again too." And we see a reminder that, yeah, Tokoyami was interning with Hawks for a little while. And Midoriya answers a very interesting question. "Tokoyami, didn't he not return to your agency?" And Hawks answers the question. And we know, and he says, I had him I had him go do some sidekick work in his hometown. My schedules has been just my schedule has been just packed, you see. I felt kinda. And we see that turns his head while continuing the conversation, his sentence, towards Bakugo, and Hawks is looking at Bakugo when he says bad about it, but but Bakugo just continues. I was faster back there, you hear? And Hawks just laughs. Sure, kid. And we cut back to Endeavor, and he butts into the conversation. Well, what business did you have, Hawks? And on the next panel, in the next page, page 16, and Hawks continues, it's not so much business, but Endeavor, have you read this book? And he holds out the book of the Quirk Liberation Army book that was written by the original Destro. And Midoriya knows what the Quirk Liberation Army book is, and he says the same thing. The Quirk Liberation Army book, and Endeavor's like, what the hell? And we get more into Hawks' dialogue, and it's a long one for this next one. Man, it's incredible. Did you know they've been expanding like crazy recently? And they've been getting more and they've been getting even more attention after the Deca City incident. And this is one of his inner thoughts. Sorry for being so roundabout. Because he is on a secret special mission infiltrating the Paranormal Liberation Front and trying to undermine their schemes. And he continues after that thought. Even though it's a pretty old book, it predicted our current society. If we only allow freedom to a certain few, the consequences shall fall on those who lack it. If you don't have time, just take a look at the parts I bookmarked. And I think this is Hawk still continues on the last panel. So he won. Oh, so he must have written something in code for Endeavor for him to look at because he can't explain what's going on because he's still being watched from Skeptic. But by saying that, ain't the risk of a security leak for a Skeptic who's probably watching? He would probably notice that something isn't right, but we still But ignoring that right now, and we still get more of Hawks' dialogue, and he says, "What Destro wanted was the ultimate society, one where each person takes responsibility for themselves. Now is the time. For now," and we get into another Hawks thought. "For now, this is the only way I can tell you." And Endeavor questioningly says, what are you trying to say?" Still confusing by, yeah, Hawks is trying to tell you something.
This is my clue stick!
Important. There might be something in the book that you need to know. And we cut to page 17, the last page, and Hawks continues, "If that ever happens, Endeavor, please realize both of us are going to have too much both of us are going both of us are going to have too much time to spare. Number one," and this is his thoughts continuing, and Endeavor's kind of lost, and he goes on to thinking about something with a flashback going back to where Endeavor and Hawks first had their bit of their conversation, and the scene with Hawks saying, "I like to live in a world where all heroes have too much time to spare." There were no lies in the statement. Please notice this lie. Chapter number 244 end. And that was recommendation. And yeah, this is getting a little interesting. I know the kind of knew that the Nostradamus plot was just for one for like 2 chapters. This is probably just more set up to the real story of what we're going to get with Hawks and Endeavor and the internship of all Midoriya, Bakugo, and Todoroki. But I don't think in but I'm probably thinking in the next chapter in 245, I don't think Endeavor's not gonna get everything right. And ain't by having Hawks telling him, "Oh, you should read this book," should be a dead giveaway that maybe Skeptic was watching and he probably is aware that maybe you're doing some tiny bit of treachery by probably having sensitive information. And I can probably think that by the time that that Hawks comes back to the hotel place, this is going to turn into Game of Thrones, and there's probably going to be a nice picket sign for Hawks, and he sees it, and he just says the word traitor, and then Skeptic kills Hawks with a knife and saying, "For the front." Yeah, I mean, I would call a little bit of shenanigans on Skeptic's part, and not have Skeptic kinda little suspicious on what's going on, and try to bring up that, "Oh, why were you saying that? You weren't trying to sneak some information out, weren't you?" Or like questioning Hawks on that subject. And yeah, I will see you all next week for chapter 245. This is an interesting chapter, and I do like where this is going to go. And I think this might be the arc that Hawks might blow his cover, because you kind of blew your cover in this one, and if Skeptic doesn't notice, then he's a utter moron. So until then, have a good day, everybody, and I'll see you next week. This is Josh, 24214, signing out. Bye for now.